Wait till some more people get in. Couldn't get that done this last weekend, so I'm giving you guys a stream tonight. See what's up with everybody. Doing a stream on a weekday. Absolutely, Yang Gang, for sure. I just hope kind of choppy. I gotta get that fixed. So Yang tells me that's the place to be. LA is the place to be. Definitely better than Connecticut. Full-time job. When I like something happened and I ended up not being able to go and had to train locally. I was just can't say Hawaii. It's Hawaii. So tomorrow, guys, I'm gonna be there. I'm headed to New Hampshire tomorrow. I'm not gonna get there because I actually do work tomorrow. So literally, I'd be leaving work and headed to New Hampshire, which is, I mean, like 3 hours isn't bad, but hour drive anywhere. But it's for the Yang Gang. What we're doing is gonna pull some strings to make that happen. We'll see what we can do. We're, like how bad of a lag issue are you having? Damn, Rob, you're having the lag issue too. How many people in here are having the lag issue? From now on, this is YouTube's just and you can get. So it's not my internet. That's crazy. Yeah, no, the stream got some lagging issues the last time too. But when after the stream's over, yeah, oh, the snow. It's so we're having an ice storm right now tomorrow, but if it's, if the weather doesn't permit, then I'm not growing. Uh my channel's been growing. I had like when I started this channel, I always say I wanted to get, 500 subscribers because I can get my message out to more people. Ron. So you can call me Read My Lips or you can call me Ron. Some Yeah, Trisha Lynn. That's actually what my next video was going to be about. Yang and Bernie knocked it out of the park with fun. I think Yang did like 12. Look at like some of the left YouTubers, like the way left YouTubers, scared. They're getting scared. He's performing way above what they ever anticipated. So nobody else has seen that. Like endorsing anybody in the Democratic primary, which is such a sleazy way out of it. I mean, Warren's not the worst, but I guess I put her in the top. I just don't see her performing well on stage against Trump. Put out things like humanity. That's a good idea to change the name of his healthcare plan, the way he differentiates himself from everyone. And then there's others that have on my videos. I appreciate you. All the other, I mean, everybody else has done it. Everybody else, you know, for one reason or another, have changed the names of their healthcare. On the Progressive Voice, some video on the Progressive Voice trying to call Yang out yesterday. And actually, I have another video in the works because that was just like part one. It goes even more like it's. I might try to do a live at the Yang event, and obviously, I'll be recording myself when I meet Yang and mobbing with Russell. Guys, don't forget, I'm trying to get this interview with Evelyn Yang. Like that'd be dope. Because I didn't get the interview with Yang the last time with the Secure the Yang challenge. It was in Hustle, which it was still a dope interview. It was dope. But it came down to like a 3-way random call. QOP 13, it's not just you. It's not just you. Other people have said it's lagging. Doing that. Anderson, who in QOP 13, it's other people have said it's been lagging. So it's definitely me, but it's not my internet because Kenneth, the topic on hand that we just got through talking about was me going to New Hampshire tomorrow, and then we were talking a little bit Yang being attacked recently, and about if we should change the name Medicare for All to something else. So please feel free to share your thoughts. It's the Russians or the DNC would love to shut me up. If I ever ran, they would try to bury me like Tulsi because I have no filter. Like I would, you're a blatant liar. Like I don't know. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd like. The people would probably love me because I'd be, real and authentic. But the DNC would absolutely hate me. I see Bernie not have dedicated their time to smearing Yang. They've been, like I said, I covered the Progressive Voice yesterday, but there's been other channels, like it was almost like they had a meeting and they're like, yo, I told you guys videos ago, like videos before you showed that's the basis of these smears and attacks was if you're not for Bernie's Medicare for All, then you're in the wrong and sentence. So they were like, all right, this guy's a threat. We got to get rid of him. So, and then that leads me into the question, should Yang continue humanity first and, turn the other cheek in a sense, or should he start biting back? I mean, he bit back against MSNBC, so we see he can bear his fangs when he needs to. But he's going to have to do it a lot more often. If you have the time, check out the only video on my channel. It's about Andrew Yang and Andy Stern. The Yang gang needs to have Andy Stern's message. I will check that out. What's your channel? So I can check that out. Is it lag? Oh my god, my net and lag sucks. Slow as molasses in a snowstorm. Not catching much of anything. It could be me. It could be you. And don't get me wrong, Bernie's my number. Came to housing. Bernie isn't for decriminalizing. Like that's easy. That's easy to run on. But switched. John Kraft fixed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bernie's not perfect. He's got holes in him, just like every other candidate does. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is how big are those holes? How vulnerable does it leave him? And it's not something Trump can really hammer on too much because, I mean, look at Trump. But for, the Democratic base and choosing a Democratic, candidate, that can be crippling. Every little thing counts. Ryan said by endorsing people who are still anti-housing, they are anti-back in sanctuary cities. I'll grab 67. Yeah, Bernie, the homeless problem, getting $10 running. He's not going to win, but he's like throwing $100 million. Like, if he really easily, like, at the drop of a dime, put it. One of them is helping write Bernie's housing policies. Who's helping write his policy? Hard anti-nuclear, and that's a no-go for me. Andrew is for new nuclear, and that's on the level. If that's what's important to you, then that's all that matters. My healthcare, those two are incredibly important to me. But you're right. And I've actually heard people talking about it. They're saying it's one of his there yet. Well, one can be is that Bernie endorsed for the public office. Huh. If they're writing Bernie's policy for the housing, then they're doing an absolutely atrocious job. The housing screw up. Most people don't know it. Now, like, everybody's sort of kind of playing kumbaya. Like, they'll attack the other, but not like attack. I'm curious, how many people in here? Because I did a poll. I'm curious as to how many people in here would actually vote for Bernie Sanders. Say it's the worst case scenario, right? Horrible. Biden, Bernie, more vote for. I did that question on the community tab like months ago, 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, and most people said they wouldn't even vote. I wonder if that's how. Are you guys still feeling that way? He had a mass amount of people being forced to relocate. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. Over 60% said they wouldn't vote. Realizes this. Storm Marcher, you will vote against Trump no matter what. So you'd vote for Biden or Warren or Sanders or whoever. Just I got you. There are many people that watch the channel that say you know, they'd rather have a Trump. If they say if America has this great candidate staring them dead in the face and they turn their back on him, then they deserve what they get. I've heard people say that. I've heard people say they'd vote for Trump. I've heard people say they wouldn't vote at all. Some people said they vote for, whoever the candidate is. It's a tough choice. It is what he did back in 2016 with Hillary and the DNC. People get turned off. We'll probably still vote for Bernie in 2020, but hoping for Yang. I hear you. Yeah, I'm hoping for Yang too. He's blowing everybody's expectations. I just got through watching like a ton of footage today about it. Everybody's shocked. 12 mil. And I think Pete Buttigieg did 14. And they're like, how is Yang? The one I'm the most iffy on is Elizabeth Warren. I'm so iffy on her. I'm so iffy. So iffy. Like in 2016, like I wouldn't have mind, I would not have mind if she ran. It's almost pointless to vote for the others because you need to appeal both sides. You're going against an incumbent. Yeah. I feel that all the candidates in their summit have health issues. Well, yeah, did you see what happened with Biden? Oh man, they booed him. I'm gonna put that in my next video. They booed him. They booed Biden. They called him Handsy Uncle Joe because he likes to sniff like women's hair, and I don't know. I wouldn't call it a rally because it was like not even a full auditorium full of people. It was bad. They really got at him. I don't know if Elizabeth Warren, she's 70. I don't know if she has health issues. She's actually like looks to be in pretty good shape. Like when you first look at her, like I don't know if there's, underlying health issues we don't know about, but Elizabeth Warren looks fine. It's her policies and flakiness that I issue with. Yang will be close to 18 mil is what I caught from overhearing an inside convo. Yeah. I mean, right now, yeah, as of yesterday, I heard he was at 12 mil, but I would not be surprised if he hit 18 mil. Wouldn't be surprised. Again, he's blowing everybody's expectations out of the water, which is why the smears and the attacking are happening, because the DNC and, the people that want to pull strings are starting to fear him. They were like, oh, he was pretty entertaining, but yo, what is this guy doing? And you see the sneakiness that Pete Buttigieg is doing? Pete is literally trying to hold a little contest to see who can get the smallest donations. So that way, when he goes on a debate stage, it looks like he has more grassroots, small dollar donations. What a sleazeball. People need to remember that Yang running to be president of the United States. So it's ridiculous to criticize him for going on Fox News. Republican voters are Americans too. Yeah, I think that's part of the appeal of being honest. So yeah, his Republican appeal and his Democratic appeal makes him just overall appealing. That's a good thing. And like Dems are like, why are you going on Fox News? I remember when Tulsi went on The View and Joy Behar was like, well, you're always going on that Fox News. And like, I'm running for president of the United States, not president of the Democrats. Like, it sounds fucking ridiculous. Yes, I'm going to go on Fox. Hack way of thinking. No, I listen, before I do my videos and when I'm consuming news, I listen to left and the right. So I'll listen to Ben Shapiro, I'll listen to Kyle Kalinske, I'll listen to Steven Crowder, I'll listen to David Pacman or Sam Seed. Like, I will go back and forth and chew the meat and spit out the bones. It's weird when they criticize Yang that he goes on Fox and Tulsi when she goes on Fox. Trump, Yang flips Trump voters. The guy I'm hanging out with tomorrow, Grassroots Yang Gang, used to be a Trump voter. He was with Trump, and now look at him, he's Yang Gang. It's literal living proof of Yang flipping somebody. And now he's like one of the biggest canvassers for Andrew Yang, like pretty much on the campaign trail with him. One of the people that got me from being a super Bernie supporter to being Yang Gang. So it's a good thing. Exactly. You find the truth in the middle. You chew the meat, spit out the bones. Because they both have their bias. And somewhere in there is the truth. Yeah, for gambling and drugs. I wouldn't doubt that. Pete's so sleazy. And when he talks, he has this like fake Obama impression. He's like, first, what I have to say is, oh, what do you really sound like? Who are you really? He did the thing with the African American vote where he like pretended he had like all these like support from African Americans and it was complete bullshit. And he was like, well, if you don't opt out in this certain amount of time, then that shows you support me. Like that. And then, what you just said, like telling people to be lazy and to use the UBI for gambling and drugs. And then his little wine cave, just so much. Like Pete's so fake. Warren is confused on some of her issues. Bernie has a chance of getting a second heart attack in the next 5 years. Biden and Trump have mental issues, period. Agreed. Listen, if Bernie won, there's no possible way he would shoot for 8 years. He is Bernie's not going to be there for 8 years. It's just not happening. I miss the days when this corruption talk was considered a conspiracy theory. Right. It's all up in the. Yeah. And it's just a weird argument. Like, why are you telling people to do it with money? If they want to use the UBI for gambling, then whose business is this? Nobody's business. Stay out of people's pockets. Stay out of people's bedrooms. Let them do what they want to do with their money. What the hell? I'm buffering more than pageant streams. I've never been on one. That's a lie. I've been on a stream with her and Nerds for Yang. So I'm not the only one that buffers. Pageants buffers too. It's got to be YouTube. Pizza Heartless Weasel. Yeah, he is. Same issue with the stream for you. VL. All right, I got to ask you a question, VL. In the comment section, I've seen you put like. Yeah, Rob, did you see like the mask coming off of Pete slowly but surely? The mask was coming off. You started to see him for who he really was. The mask was coming off. I'm telling you, the Pete Buttigieg you see in every commercial and on stage and stuff, that is not him. That is all an act. One, he'd only serve one term. Like he wouldn't even attempt to run another term. To just not happen. Looking forward to watching you and Russell fam hanging. Yeah, Stormwatcher. It's gonna be dope. Like I've only talked to Russell. Like him and I talk all the time on Twitter. Obviously we've talked to stream before, but actually, being there with Russell from Grassroots and just yanging it up, gonna be dope. And here's the plan for me to, if some strings are pulled, then be prepared to have, a read my lips 5-minute interview with Andrew Yang. Mainstream media. Yeah, I know people that don't watch independent, news on YouTube out. Like I covered that before. Like they're trying to direct everything to mainstream media. Some say Bernie wouldn't be able to get his proposals passed. What are your thoughts? Like ulterior close version to it, something close to that, but he's not going to get what he wants, what he's shooting for. Now, the argument is, well, you aim high and get what you get. It's better. Do I think he'd be able to make free college? And do I think he'd be able to erase student loan debt? These are get some sort of version of what he's looking for, but he's not going to get what he wants. Yeah, fuck MSNBC. Still boycotting their ass. This is the first live stream I buffered like crazy. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, the DNC are pushing Pete and Amy like crazy. I covered that before. Like, they said Amy won the last debate. All like mainstream media said Amy won the last debate. Everyone else said Andrew Yang. Some people said Andrew Yang and Sanders, but mainstream media was like, yeah, Klobuchar won that. Bernie supporters only want Bernie because he's giving away much for free. I don't know about that. I think it's the healthcare thing. Like, I went through the healthcare system and it was absolutely atrocious. And I had like incredible debt afterwards too. And the reason I was in there was through no fault of my own. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Something that got to change. So anybody that's gone through that knows that needs to be fixed. So I think that's how he won people over, was through healthcare, his healthcare talk. What people don't know is that's going to be incredibly hard to, like, you're literally uprooting the entire system. Like, that's going to be so hard to do. I don't know. I don't know. My daughter lives in Minnesota. She told me she's not voting for Klobuchar. Good. Klobuchar is business as usual, just slightly better than Trump. Klobuchar is, let's have things the way they are. I'm just asking, is it true that to pass Bernie's Medicare for All, he cannot get it done his first term because the Democrats need the House and the Senate? Yeah, I don't. That's why when people are saying like, oh, he wants to do Medicare for All immediately, he can't. He can't do it immediately. Like, it's just not happening. It's not happening right away. Looked at Bernie 4 years. At 4, like, Bernie's not serving 2 terms, so she want to do her version in 10 years. One of the main reasons why for nuclear power is because of nuclear medicine, mainly medical isotopes created in a nuclear reactor used in cancer treatments, MRIs, PET scans, radiology. Yeah, I was talking to a Republican colleague of mine, and he's all for using nuclear. He's like, we shouldn't be afraid of it. It's just Donald Trump. Yeah, be careful on the trip. Can't wait to see you and Russell hanging out with a double live stream. Going to be fun. Yeah, I'm off. I'm looking forward to going as long as the weather permits. Like, I'm not going to risk it if the weather's bad. It's like a 3-hour trip. What's going on across Canada? The DNC is a joke. They really are a joke, and they're corrupt as hell. Klobuchar's in with Hillary. A bunch of her supporters switched to her. What? It's so weird. Like, they're like, oh, this person didn't get it. Let's go to the damn near clone cop. Nobody's going to vote for Amy Klobuchar. Nobody. I missed that guy. Paget said DNC will not yet Yang win. I'm so pissed. I mean, 100 years are the way that they are. F everybody else. Screw everybody else. It's Bernie or nothing, and I'm going to shit on everybody else because they literally screwed him out of the election. So I wouldn't put it past the DNC to do the same thing to Yang, especially with like Obama just giving like a big up to Elizabeth Warren recently. You notice Amy does not have any rally when she did have one. Barely nobody showed up. How the hell did she manage to get on the debate? They're pushing Amy. I did a video. Amy's doing great. Amy's on fire. I'm like, what are you talking? Did you watch the same? They're really pushing her. They want a Klobuchar. But can you imagine Amy Klobuchar against Donald Trump? Are you kidding me? Pete and Klobuchar don't stand for anything, Kenneth. They're business as usual. They are the status quo, just with a smile on their face. No mean tweets. Hardcore Bernie folks got screwed last time, so they're fighting for their turn to speak. That's exactly what it is. They're jaded. They don't want to hear anything else. They don't want to hear about no Andrew Yang. They don't want to hear about no Amy Klobuchar. They got screwed. They got the boot, and they're going all in. And at times, it's toxic. At times, it's toxic. Bernie's my number 2, and I got to stay away from many Bernie-esque, pages and issues because they don't want to hear shit else. We all need to go to Iowa, dude. We get the flood. I would definitely go to Iowa. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Legit, Amy has had an actual rally since 10 months ago where there was a crowd. Good night across Canada. When Amy launched her campaign, I think she made people like stand out in the snow for her, right? Everybody was like in the snow. They think in a Trump talk with Amy K, she can stand up. She can stand up to a woman least likely to go against Trump. Conspiracy, right. Yeah, I don't think if the woman that were to go up against Trump and destroy him, I'd say it would be like a Tulsi Gabbard, not an Amy Klobuchar. Because Amy Klobuchar is the status quo. She is like safe. She's gonna, keep Wall Street going the same way that it is. She's gonna take the corrupt money. It's gonna be like a breath of the past. They don't want any of this change. They can't control Sanders. They can't control Yang. Buried Tulsi Gabbard. Literally buried her. And see, I noticed that Bernie and his supporters only care about something if it applies to them. Well, yeah, especially now. Especially since he got screwed. No Bernie supporters are going to shout out Andrew Yang. That's just not happening. They're all in it for themselves at this point because, again, they're jaded. If 2016 and Andrew Yang was running, trust and believe, Sanders supporters and Yang supporters don't care. He got screwed. And then he's done things that didn't put him in the best of light. And he didn't speak out when he needed. Bernie isn't going to speak out for Yang because he didn't speak out right away with Tulsi. And Tulsi literally left her chair for Bernie because he got screwed. He needs to be defending Tulsi all the time, legit. And he sees Yang as the future, and he needs to be defending Yang too. But he doesn't do it. But that's something they've been saying about Bernie forever. Like, he doesn't get aggressive when needed. He may get loud because he's Bernie Sanders, but he doesn't get aggressive in the right way when it's necessary. Burners have become Trumpers, but in blue. They're not that bad yet. I work with a lot of Trump supporters. They're literally saying Trump is the best president ever. Like, the Bernie supporters aren't as delusional as the Trump supporters yet. Like, I've literally had conversations with saying Donald Trump is the best president ever. Now, if they're trolling, that'd be one thing. I'd be like, haha, I'm all for trolling, but they're dead serious. He's the best president. To change that to Bernie or Jill Stein, but I didn't take. It would have been way more effective that Bernie or bust. Yeah. If they wanted a woman in the White House, they should have picked Jill Stein. But yeah, Jill Stein was smeared because they kept calling her a Russian asset. They did the same thing. Hillary did the same thing to Tulsi Gabbard, called her a Russian asset. Everybody wants a woman in the White House, and you had probably the most prime at Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi should not be in the put her as an Assange apologist. They smeared her, Russian asset. They literally buried her. And it's so not like them because usually when somebody serves, they like those people when somebody serves in the military, but they buried her. She took down Kamala, and then she spoke out against things they didn't want her to speak out, and they buried her. They say Yang's not a threat because he's at 3%, but yet they're dedicated to smear Yang. Yeah, like I said, one of my next videos is coming out is the continued smear of Andrew Yang. I dropped one yesterday that the Progressive Voice was smearing him, and then it's like quadrupled since then. Amanda, I don't know if he threw Sink under the bus. He just didn't handle that situation correctly. Even if Sink came up to Bernie and said, hey, look, I see you're getting a lot of heat. Retract your endorsement. You know what I'm saying? What Bernie should have said was, Sink, I believe in what you stand for. I'm going to continue to endorse you. The rest of them can kiss my ass. That's what Bernie should have did. That's what I want to see my president do. But you fucking retracted it. Like, if you know Sank's in the progressive, if you know what he stands for, you know he's going to be the right candidate, why would you retract it? Stand up for what's right. So I did not like how Bernie handled that at all. At all. Put up a fight. Come on, you got to fight. Put up a fight. Bernie endorsing Yang would be a step in the right direction. Yeah, Yang's the future. The future. 100%. 100%. Like, y'all remember in the past when Bernie used to attack millionaires and billionaires, but ever since he became a millionaire, he's only now against billionaires. That book deal. That book deal. For the longest time, he was the poor senator, legit. He was the poor senator. He all billionaires. As long as they're taxed properly, make as much fucking money as him. Yeah, Tulsi stood up for him. She left her seat. When Tulsi gets attacked, you should be the first one to have her back. Yes, don't watch it. Bernie supporters are jaded. Colt 45 is crazy. I've had some crazy conversations. Like crazy. There's outright blatantly in denial of things. I'll be like, no, Trump said this. I'll show him the video of Trump saying it, and it'll be like, that's fake news. I'm like, but it's literally Trump saying it. Like, no, they sometimes, like, it's almost like a talent. I'm glad Hillary lost. So glad Trump won. I voted for Joe Stein in 2016. I knew Trump was going to win. Hillary is so. Do you guys remember when they had Trump and Hillary and they were standing there and they were like, you guys are going back and forth. Can you say one nice thing about each other? Can you name one nice thing? Hillary's like, your kids. You kids. I like your kids. No, say one nice thing about Trump. Not okay. He has kids. Congratulations. What about him? And Trump gave a decent answer. He goes, one thing I can say about Hillary, she's a fighter. She doesn't give up. I don't agree with her about anything, but Hillary is a fighter. Always was, always will be. And I admire that about her. Like, he gave like a legit answer. Like, she's got to go. She was mad at Bernie that she was like, Bernie hurt me. Bernie hurt my heart. He didn't endorse me right away. He took his time with endorsing me. He didn't endorse me right away. Are you kidding me? They make money off the wars she's trying to end. Bernie supporters need to remember who he supported. Can't blame DNC for picking their candidate, Hillary. No, I definitely blame the DNC. They should have kept their hands out of it. They were like feeding her questions beforehand. They were like letting her know questions beforehand, like super corrupt. And she was funding the DNC. Like, she was giving them money. She was funding the DNC. So it was just, I know, John, TYT, and I know that's what I actually have a video in the works of it. TYT, damage report, and there's definitely stuff in the works to get at Yang. Exactly. He was one of the only people in the media standing for Bernie. Yeah. 100%. I voted for Stein too. Toast like a mix of Yang and Stein to me. Yeah. Like, she is such a solid candidate. Like, if you step back, you look at her, you hear what she has to say, you hear what she's about, she's super solid. You've seen, and she's taken so much heat, so much bullets, so much, like, no pun intended, so much like just smearing at her. And like, she's like, she went on there, was like, no, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the shit Trump, hands down, Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, and they didn't choose either of them. Are they out of their mind? Yeah, Izzy, I've heard some Trumpers sound like they belong in a psych ward. 100%. 100%. When you bring up Bernie's flaws in housing, the Bernie supporters make excuses and say medical fraud is more important. I'm pretty sure the people that lost their head, they're gonna literally cover their ears and say whatever is great about their candidate right now. They don't want to hear shit else. Should read an article that broke my heart. And I was a Bernie supporter back in 2016. Articles from 1996. Bernie asks Ralph Nader to drop out so Bill Clinton can win in 96. Really? Bill Clinton ran as a new Democrat. He ran as a new Democrat. And you know what's weird? Like a lot of people, a lot of black people liked and love Bill Clinton. Still to this day. Still to this day. Even though he helped, do that third strike rule, which locked up a lot of African Americans for a long time for nonviolent crimes like weed. Because he played a fucking saxophone. I don't know. But to this day, Bill Clinton still gets praise. They still, especially in the minority community, he gets a lot of praise. It's really weird. The article is called "Left Out: Bernie Sanders and Ralph Nader Park." I believe it. We need to get big money out of politics. Yes, we do. But look, you got somebody like Warren who made a lot of money, before she ran from big donors and is now using that big donor money while running. But she's like, no, I'm not taking money. No, I'm not taking PAC money or donor money. Yeah, because you did it right before you ran and now you're using it in this run now. That's why I said Warren is iffy too. Too much smearing against Nang. We need to start referring to Bernie as Yerny and all other candidates with a Y in front, except Klobuchar, to remind them to stop smearing us. If that catches on, I'd be willing to do that. Yeah, Tom, the DNC is super corrupt. Super corrupt. Super corrupt. That's why it's like hypocritical when they're like, Russia can't meddle in our elections. Meddling in elections is bad right after they meddled in an election. Like, you need a mirror. You need to look who's talking. My favorite comment from Bernie supporters is Yang, just like Trump, because they're both businessmen. I swear these people are stupid. Those people don't know shit about politics. They don't know anything about politics. Yang is nothing like Trump. Yang and Trump do have one thing in common. They know to a crowd. And they're believe it or not, they're like Trump is great off the cuff, just like Yang is off the cuff. Like that. He's good. Do you guys remember when they were like saying, like, oh, you called to Trump? They're like, you called women fake. He's great off the cuff. He's great off the cuff. You need somebody that's like that to go against him, who's quick-witted. And that's where Yang comes in. Tosi's always been like that. Yeah, I love it about her. She's like, I've never seen her like struggling or like sweating, like, oh God, I don't know how to answer. She's just upfront, unabashed, doesn't waver, comes for your throat, goes for the jugular. Bernie supporters need to let it go. Bernie says he's always against the establishment, but he always caves in just like he did. Tom, and I wish he didn't. It really stop caving in. Stand, not that he's doing bad, because Bernie's actually soaring. He's actually number 2 right now. If you look at it, Biden is number 1, Bernie's number 2. He's overtaken Warren. But if he was just more unabashed and he stood up, puffed out his chest a bit more, he probably would have been number 1 over Biden, to be honest. But no, shout out from Connecticut to Chicago. So let me get this straight. All candidates had Medicare for All on their website from day one. Each had a different definition. That's fine. But after Bernie introduced Medicare for All, suddenly he owns the term. Yes, talking politics. Yes, because Bernie changed the Overton window. So here's the thing. The person that hammered home Medicare for All, that got people talking about Medicare for All, come up with it. Bernie's not the originator. But people want to know who's talking about it now. And it just so happens that Bernie is associated with Medicare for All. That's just what it is. When I did a study, I asked over 60 people, when I say Medicare for All, who do you think of? They all said Bernie Sanders. Just like if I were to ask people, when I say universal basic income, who do you think of? Every single one of them is going to say Andrew Yang, right? Every single one of them is going to say Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang didn't invent universal basic income, but he is the figurehead of universal basic income. So because of this with Bernie Sanders, the Overton window has shifted, and they all believe now that you have to do Bernie's Medicare for All proposal. I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm saying that's just where it shifted to Bernie's. So That's why I said Yang's got to have a way to overcome that, because that's one of the smears he's getting right now. Literally right now, they're saying Yang is not for Medicare for all. You're not for Medicare for all. He's saying he is, but when they say Medicare for all, they're talking about Bernie's version. So he needs to differentiate himself from Bernie's version. That's why I said call it by a different name, because it's not going to stop. The Overton window has shifted to Bernie's version because he hammered it home. Started 2016 and it's continued on to now. So he's going to keep taking heat for that. You know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Yang's Medicare for all plan, because there isn't, but he needs to change the name, because don't get it confused. When you say Medicare for all to the average person who's not into politics, they immediately think of Bernie Sanders. Unfortunately, Trump's not even a businessman. He's a scam artist. Yeah, like I watched like a big documentary on Trump like a while ago, and that Taj Mahal thing told me, when I watched what he did with the Taj Mahal, I was like, you're not a businessman. That was horrible. Will we make it to debate in January? I think we will. I 100% think we will. Like, Yang's got over $12 million right now. He's projected to do like 18 or 19 or something. Both outsiders and anti-establishment, but notice that Trump changed his tune when he became president. Yeah, Trump ran as a populist. He ran as a populist. Like, he sounded progressive in a lot of the things he was saying. The way he governs are way different. What percent of people know Bernie's Medicare for all is a single payer? Most percent of people don't even know what Bernie's plan entails. They really don't. They just know that Bernie Sanders and Medicare for all are synonymous with each other. Yeah, I went over that yesterday, Kevin. It's true. It's true. Ron Padgett talked about this video called "What's the Presidential Candidates Won't Tell You." Medicare for All explained by a doctor. You should check it out. I'll check that out. There's a lot of holes in Bernie's plan. I'm not saying Bernie's plan is better than Yang's. I'm just talking about what the average, I call them like the Susan Know Nothings and the John Everybody, that they don't know. I went into work after the impeachment. People were trying to give me high fives. I said, what are you giving me high fives for? And here's my hand to God. Donald Trump is no longer president. He got impeached. I'm so happy he got impeached. Yes, this is great news. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I literally had to break it down how it worked with the Senate, how like they literally knew nothing about. So most people only know surface level stuff. So that's why I say they know Medicare for all is associated with Bernie, but they don't know anything about it. They really don't know anything about the plan. Actually saying to people what they think Medicare for all means, and they don't point to Bernie's plan. They give the definition of government provided insurance, and that's what Yang's saying. There you go. You're absolutely right. But again, they only know surface level stuff. Because of that, the Overton window has shifted and the media's ran with it. Granny in Australia is watching crazy ice storms there in 44. Yeah, so if I'm breaking up, Helen, if I'm breaking up and it's lagging, there's literally an ice storm going on right now. Tomorrow, if it's an ice storm still, I'm not going to New Hampshire, because Yang would literally tell me, dude, stay your ass home. Don't drive. It's a 3-hour drive. If it's bad out tomorrow, I'm not going. And I'd have to tell Russell, thank you. And I mean, Yang Gangs even got me, a hotel and everything. Like, they've really looked out. I'm going to try my damnedest to get there. But if it's dangerous out and it's icy like it is today, I can go to New Hampshire tomorrow. I have a coupe. Like, I don't have a truck. I have a sports car. I have a coupe. Completely not made for the snow. The best buy ever? No. Impulse buy? Call it that. Like, keep his plan exactly the same, change the name so they can't keep using that to smear him. Freedom Care, Humanicare. Yeah, I can go for some eggnog. Have any of you guys had coquito? Let me know if you guys had coquito. It's pretty good. It took Bernie years for people to know the term Medicare for all. Yeah, it did. It would take, and Legendary Squad. Literally, the video he was just on was a CNN knows which one he was on, let me know. And the guy like tried to call Yang out, and he gives him pushback. Like they keep harping on him using the term Medicare for all. So us in Yang Gang, most people are saying like, nah, he can call it Medicare for all. But everyone outside to now CNN hosts are calling him on it. I'm like, yo, dude, just change the name because they're trying to smear you. There's been like literally like 6 videos today I had to watch that I'm working on that'll be released the day after tomorrow about like a smear job they got going on Yang, and it's all based under Medicare for all. And I said this would happen weeks ago. I still like Yang's plan as a person with autism. I felt he cared to address our needs, which Bernie does not. I hear you. I kind of understand why Burners are mad about Yang using Medicare for all, but he never said he supports Bernie's damn bill. But for some reason, Medicare for all has to be Bernie's version. Kenneth, that's because Bernie shifted to Overton window. It's just factual. I'm not saying Bernie's plan is better than Yang's. I'm saying he shifted the Overton window because he kept hammering on it. 2016. Medicare for all, Medicare for all. Continued hammering on it till now. So people associate Medicare for all with Bernie's way. Just like Andrew Yang is hammering universal basic income. Yang didn't come up with universal basic income. Other people from Martin Luther King on, but Yang is the figurehead of it right now. He's the one hammering away on it. So that's why I said, all right, let's do Yang's plan and let's call it something else. Because holy shit. Do you guys know? Do you guys know it's going to be like this tomorrow? If you guys know if it's going to be bad like tomorrow, please let me know. Freedom Care is perfect. I agree. Freedom Care is dope. Like Freedom Dividend, Freedom Care. It just makes sense. Put a cool ass logo. That would be awesome. And he call it Freedom Care, but when you talk, they'll say, I want to give people Medicare for all. I want Medicare for all people. So I'm introducing Freedom Care. Like, say that. Like, literally say, like, boom, done. Anyone ever tell you you look like James Harden? If I had his skills, I'd be all set, wouldn't I? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to let this get any longer. It's pretty damn long. Like currently an ice storm right now. There's an ice storm. It's like a really bad storm out. So these Bernie bros know Bernie is running to be president. He can't do what he wants like he's some king in a monarchy where he has absolute power. You know who's kind of doing that right now? Trump. Didn't Trump, like when he got in, he did like immediate executive orders. Immediate. He sat there, executive order, executive order, executive order, as soon as he got in on some king monarchy shit. I don't know. Like, he literally came in and started just writing shit off. Like his first thing to do was gut Obamacare. Like he couldn't do it the way he wanted to do it, but he crippled it to the point where it's like nothing. What's going on, Victoria? Andrew's nuclear policy talks about rare earth elements. You need to watch a video called Jimmy Kennedy, dependent on China for military. Yang's one of the only people talking about nuclear, and we need to talk. Yang's actually been taught things that other people hasn't even touched. Like he talked about like he's talking about nuclear. He's talking about decriminalizing drugs. Like he's talking about things that most other candidates are even afraid to touch. Like they're afraid to touch, and he's tackling them, which I give a lot of respect to. Yeah, Victoria, I did one yesterday on the Progressive Voice trying to smear Yang. And look, I reached out to the Progressive Voice on Twitter first, and he didn't respond. So I was like, all right, you're getting this video. And since that video, that was 24 hours ago, more smears have come. So now I have to drop another video talking about it to debunk all that shit. He said, when are you going to introduce your buddy behind you? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's Jay. The campaign actually sent me that hat and that shirt. The campaign actually sent me that. And yeah, yeah, Stormwatcher. Ice storms are really bad. Universal Care, I like that. First Class Care, I like that. That sounds like a movie. Like I'd watch that. I don't have to worry about the ice storm to keep because I got here. See, I'm not even worried about the cold or the warmth. I'm worried about actually getting there in one piece. Progressive Voice is friends with Anna from TYT. She likes him. She did an interview. Again, I dropped a video on it yesterday. And he's like the TMZ of like the media world. And here's the thing: I used to watch him because I liked that he was a growing channel. And I was like, dude, I remember when he was at 10K, he's close to 50K. I liked that. And then like literally back to back, 2 smear videos on Yang. And then today dropped another smear video on Yang. And then CNN dropped a smear job on Yang. And then TYT, gonna be more. There's gonna be more. I like New Progressive Voice. He's not a bad person. He actually supports a lot of. Yeah, the New Progressive Voice. He's dope. He's not the Progressive Voice I'm talking about. Completely different person, as you probably already know. I don't want anybody to get them normal speed. If super slow, that's going to turn my 3-hour trip into a 4 or 5-hour trip. And that's not plausible because I work tomorrow. I actually do work tomorrow. Leaving out like 6:30, 7 o'clock. The event starts at 8. So I pictured myself getting there 9:30, 10. And the event starts at 8, ends at 1. So I pictured myself. Progressive Voice said a while ago he hates Yang for wanting to push vocational schools rather than universities. Yeah, like he hates Yang. What's going on? How you been? How was your holiday? Yeah, like he literally hates Andrew Yang. It doesn't make any sense. And he goes, I can't stand anybody that backs out of for all. She backed out of Medicare for all. She doesn't support the Medicare for all. So what are you like? You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Yes, Stormwatcher, there's 2. There's Progressive Voice and there's what is it? The New Progressive Voice. So there's 2 of them. Don't confuse them. Astronaut Ninja, you're not missing out on anything. He's like I said, he's a smaller channel. I'm want to talk about small channels. He has like 50,000 subscribers. He's about to hit 50,000 subscribers. So he's not that huge yet, but he's on his way. Like if you watch his trending, he is slowly getting up there. So I'm not surprised you haven't seen his channel yet. Thorium nuclear is completely different from uranium, far safer and far less dangerous waste. Exactly, Ross. And not too many people are talking about that. 1 million subs. Wow, getting me right now. I'm trying to hit 5K and just take it a step at a time. I'm at 2,500. I'm like, all right, so I got to do sorts of points of views and analyses. I don't think there's any progressive YouTuber left channels that are at 1 million subs. I think like Pac-Man and Kyle Kalinske are like the biggest, and they're like at 700K. I think Steven Crowder, he's on the right wing. I think he might have 1 million subs. I need high-speed rail. You are 100% correct. Anything that says progressive in the title are pretty much brony bros. You're right. Yeah, it was good. How I made it was good. I'm glad it's over. I always end up spending way too much money that I don't intend on spending. And it's always hectic and busy, especially at no jobs for that degree. You're absolutely right. Listen, I'm in management. I'm a manager, and I have people under me that went to college, went to university, went to school, but they can't find anything that they're looking for. So they need to continue to work. So like they're working under me. Like I'm their boss, and they went to universities and shit because they can't find anything in their field yet. It's tough. That's why I tell people to go into a trade. Not enough people are going into trades. like welding and auto body and just rent. Like, I wish when I was younger I would have thought about getting a trade, but it never crossed my mind. Yep, needs to be realistic. Wasting time and money at schools, dropping out, taking unneeded classes, getting job outside degree, schools and college needs to be used correctly. Love that Yang said this. Yeah, college is a good thing. Like she's paying off student debt. I can't remember the name. Jesus. It's like they give you a loan. It's a woman's name. You guys know what it is, and she has to pay them every month. And like she'll be paying debt for a very, very long time. It's God, I can't remember the name. But she has to pay them. And Ryan has all the receipts on Bernie since he's working in housing politics. He actually sent Patch an email full of information. It's up to her if she wants to drop the dirt on him. She should. It's news. Listen, it's called Read My Lips News and Politics, so I'm going to talk about it. People think solar is the way to go. It's not. It's fine on the margins, but not for base load power. There's a reason why we don't build solar panels in the U.S. It's because of a very toxic process. My brother actually is in the solar industry. He puts solar panels on roofs. So he works like 6 days a week. He puts solar panels on roofs. He makes pretty good money. And it's a newer industry. It's got a long way to go. It's with Vivint. It's with a company called Vivint. Before that, he was at a different company, which is not coming to my mind right now. They're not coming to my mind right now. Yeah, Steven Crowder has 4.2 million subs. That's ridiculous. No, there's no lefty that has that many subs. None. No lefty has that many subs. That's a possibility. I can try to install it when I get off of here. Lowe's is helping their employees get vocational training while working. Sally Mae, that's what it's called, Rob. Thank you. She has to pay Sally Mae every month. And she's burdened with student loan debt. So she went to college, did everything she was supposed to do that they tell you to do. Now she works under me as one of my employees. She has keys. She's a key holder. But she's paying Sally Mae back, and she's not in the field she's in because she can't find the work for it. So I'm like, all right, you want to do college, fine, but you got to like, she's working, she's got to pay off her debt. And there was a lawyer that actually came into my job, and he's still paying off his debt. I was talking, I'm like, oh, you got to be making a lot of bank. You're a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, dude, I'm still paying off my loans, which is crazy. The dividend report and the math to victory are pretty good Andrew Yang channels. I've never heard of those. Surprisingly, I've never heard of those. I'm gonna have to check them out. I thought I've seen like majority of the Andrew Yang channels. We are actually looking for someone to remodel our bathroom. They're charging $7K to finish it in 2 weeks. It's actually not bad. It's not bad in 2 weeks. Yeah, Kenneth. Kyle Kalinske is at about 700,000, a little over 700,000 subs. And David Pacman is around 700,000 subs. I think Pacman actually has a little more than Kyle right now at the moment. But yeah, no of the lefties have hit a mill. Should we donate to pay DNC for polls? I don't know. So Tom, the way it works is, yeah, you need tickets, and they're sold out. They're like $60 a pop. I got one ticket. Actually, technically, I need 2 tickets. I need 2 tickets, to be honest. I only have one. But yeah, it's tickets. You go in there and you just, I don't know, you just like mob and just like they got food there and stuff like that. I guess it's called like it's not Martha's Vineyard, it's Martha's something. And I'm sure Yang's going to come out at some point, and I'm sure he's going to be out for the countdown and things like that. Yes, don't watch it. Right-wing people can be scary as fuck, but I've met some cool ones. I've met some cool right-wing people, but I've also seen some delusional ones too. He's going to have Elon Musk out tomorrow. That's dope. That's dope. Dividend report is good. He needs more subs. I gotta check that channel out. FD can mean free college for you. That is crazy. Yeah, David Pakman, he backed off of. He's kind of backing off of Bernie. He's more like he's been like leaning towards Warren recently, which they've been talking about him backing off too. He's thinking it looks like he thinks like Warren's plans are more easier to execute. A video for our celebrity endorsements. I feel like it would actually validate them. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing to do. Put like a compilation together. Elon and Yang collaboration. That's dope. 27 degrees and clear tomorrow night where the event is. Good. That's cold as shit, but good. That's good. Is it true Casey Neistat is liking Yang Gang? I heard somebody else say that. Casey, dope. I watched a Pac-Man video about Trump surpassing 15,000 lies and counting. Trump would literally be on air, say one thing, and then the next day go on air and say the complete opposite. We were like, what is he doing? Casey's been Yang Gang. True. Oh, I meant videos of each celebrity saying they endorse Yang, like an actual video. Oh, yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool. We can't here in San Diego during the USC Iowa game and actually got more attacks and pushback from Bernie pros than people who voted for Trump. Astronaut, I believe you. I 100% believe you because, again, they're jaded and they don't want to hear shit else from anybody else. I was lucky to say my financial aid. Wow. That it paid all my school expenses without getting into debt. That's really, really dope. That's amazing. Good for you. I do find David Pakman videos informative and also entertaining. Here's the thing. I don't find Pakman's videos entertaining, but I do find them informative. Like I can't go through like a playlist of Pac-Man just watching them. Like I can't do it. Like I'd fall asleep. But he's informative. I can go. I like back in the day, early TYT. I used to be able to go through a playlist of TYT. Like back in the day when Jimmy Dore was on the show, and it was like just a completely different animal. I can go through a whole playlist of TYT. I can't do that now. Did Yang pull back from the public option altogether? I remember watching his live stream saying that there. No, I think he's for a public option. Andrew Yang talks about bringing back the Office of Technology Assessment. I remember him talking about this at the debate. I remember Yang talking about that about the debate. Yeah, Yang wants to have a public option for sure. The Humanist Report will attack Yang again, especially after these latest smears. I'm telling you, it's going to come on hard. It's going to celebs. I know so far. Anyone to add to this? Marcellus Wiley, Bills NFL, Tommy Chun, Mark Schultz, Olympic athlete, played by Channing Tatum, Nicolas Cage, Dave Chappelle, Elon Musk, Trevor Noah, Ronnie Chang, Norm Macdonald, Gambino, The Walking Dead star Stephen Young. Yeah. Yep. From what I remember, Dave Chappelle said it in like one of his shows. There were people that like went in my inbox and were like really telling me about that. Like, Chappelle endorsed him. You got to cover something about it. Chappelle endorsed him, but I need the actual footage. The Stephen Young one was dope. I covered that. You're surrounded by demonic. It's in your ears. It's in your house. It's in your car. You don't even know it. It used to be a U.S. company, and now China owns it. The guy from Hangover. What guy from Hangover? Can you imagine if Mike Tyson endorsed Andrew Yang? If he was like, I like Yang. I like that guy, Andrew Yang. That would be pretty dope. Mike Tyson's like a completely different guy while boxing. He doesn't want to watch any footage of him. He goes, he doesn't like that guy that he was back then. Completely different guy. Patricia Lynn, that's exactly what I said. I said, what guy from Hangover? Chang, the Chinese guy. Chang. That's dope. Dr. Ken, that's dope. He's been in a lot of shit. He's been in some different things. Whippy always defends Yang on The View, but didn't endorse him. Yeah, I like Whippy majority. I'm going to say 75% of the time. 25% of the time, she's annoying, but 75% of the time, she's usually right on the money. Like, during this whole impeachment thing, like, she was absolutely horrible to watch. Horrible to watch. Ken is Korean. What time is it? I like her movies. Yeah, she was like an incredible actress. She's had a long budding career. She was an incredible actress. Whoopi sounds like she's trying to protect her job. Well, I mean, look, jobs are going. What is it? I just read a report. Like 19,000 jobs are disappearing, most of them retail. So, yeah, I'm about to call it a day too, call it a night too, Tom, because I work in the morning and it's 2:13 in the morning. I usually do Sundays. I didn't get to do it last Sunday, Tom, because life caught up with me. That's why I'm doing it today. Because I promised you guys a stream. But next Sunday should be a stream. Yang is meeting with Obama. Yes, but Obama just damn near short of an endorsement for Elizabeth Warren. Damn near. Just a shy short of an endorsement. So Yang's meeting with Obama, but Obama in the same thing came out and said he's not endorsing anybody in the Democratic primary, from his own words. So until whoever gets to the general, that's who he endorse. Like, he's playing it completely safe. Calling it a night. It's been an hour, 40 minutes. I gotta head to bed. I do work in the morning. I work. I'll be there. All right, guys. Good night, Victoria. Good night, everyone. Sorry for the lag. I got to get that fixed. I don't know why I was doing that. Well, I know it's ice storming. No problem. Happy New Year, everyone. Be safe. Go Yang Gang.